I was reading an article by R.C. Sproul just yesterday in which he said that the greatest revolution in American history was neither the American Revolution or the Industrial Revolution. It is the sexual revolution.
28-year-old Brigid Klyne-Simpson has identified as a woman for years, and she wants to get into better shape, so she went to the Bodyworks gym for women in Parksville for a membership. Klyne-Simpson says she was initially welcomed, but after one workout she was informed she was not allowed at the women's-only gym.
Saying, sorry, we made a mistake, you're not actually allowed to be here, but you're more than welcome to use the co-ed facility. And I kind of just hung up because I was devastated. I mean, there's really no other word for it.
This has become the most far-reaching, damaging of all revolutions that's ever occurred in this country or any other. The problem with buying into this is it is a kind of personal suicide. It is literally the end of your existence in the way that God designed you.
Paul Bixler.
My professional career has been in public education.
She started as a teacher in Phoenix in 1976, working her way up to administrator and principal. Paul now sits on the board for the Liberty Elementary School District.
I do not choose to be transgender.
Really? From the time Paul was a child, she knew she was different.
By about 11 or 12, I was pretty sure I knew what was going on.
That was in 1961.
There was too much risk.
Paul eventually married her wife, Candace, had 2 children, and a long, loving marriage.
My wife was aware of it, but it was absolutely clear that it was uncomfortable for her.
In 2017, Paul's wife died of cancer.
I decided at that point that if I was ever going to explore what my real feelings were, this would be the time.
I've said this a few weeks ago. A person who is in the transgender world is 19 times more likely to kill himself or herself because you have completely cut yourself off from reality and from normal relationships. This is the end of your identity. This is the end of your ability to have a marriage that is a real marriage. It's the end of your ability to have a family. It's the end of your ability to connect and to be a part of a society and a culture and have a future and belong. It is a kind of extreme isolation that can be no more extreme. You can't get more extreme than saying, I am not who I actually am.
Go stand back so I can see it.
Okay, but Mommy, I don't have to wear this.
No. Okay, show me. Okay, tell me about your new clothes.
I want to wear girl clothes.
Why do you want to wear girl clothes?
Because I do.
Okay. Is it because do you feel like you're a girl or do you feel like you're a boy? Yeah, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
You look so happy. I love you.
You literally have disconnected yourself from existence. You aren't who you are. You are some fantasy person in your own mind.
Welcome to the Miss Universe organization. From now on, it's going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism. Diverse cultures, social inclusion, gender equality, creativity, the force for good, and of course, the beauty of humanity.
We are living in extremely dark times, where the most powerful forces in the country and in the culture are propagating the lie that men can be women and women can be men. This has already led to many disastrous consequences, such as very young children who have been brainwashed into making life-altering decisions they likely will never recover from. Clearly, this boy is only saying he is a girl to get his mother's approval, and it seems pretty clear that this mother responds most affectionately when the boy says he feels like a girl.
Do you feel like you're a girl or do you feel like you're a boy?
Girl.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
You look so happy. I love you.
It's nauseating to think that so many parents are manipulating their children in this way, lavishing their greatest affection when the child responds in the way they want them to respond. These are children who don't know anything about life, who will follow wherever their parents lead them.
The isolation of this particular aspect of it is so sad and so tragic. I read the other day a surgery was done in Australia on a 5-year-old to do a sex change. These kinds of parents ought to be imprisoned, who would lead a 5-year-old, and what kind of doctor would ever do that in a hospital in Australia? This is a kind of scarring for life.
But it's not just children who are the victims of this evil and godless ideology. Teenage girls are now forced to share locker rooms with adult men, which is not at all safe or acceptable. Listen to this teenage girl share her experience and her fear.
My name is Rebecca Phillips, and I'm 17 years old. I am not a resident of Santee, but I am employed at a local restaurant, the Omelet Factory, and I work out regularly at the Santee YMCA. Just 2 weeks ago, after finishing my shift at my job, I went to the gym to swim laps. As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. I ran into a bathroom stall to change as quickly as I could, organizing my thoughts to share with the people at the front desk. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. As long as you are not a red flag on Megan's Law, the California Sex Offender Registry, a grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA location here in Santee. I was made to feel as though I had done something wrong when I talked to people at the YMCA.
Similarly, remember Paul Bixler, the elected school official we heard from earlier? Similarly, he is simply allowed to walk into the women's locker room in the gym. Watch this woman's experience with Bixler at the gym, and then watch the police and the gym refuse to do anything about this.
In Arizona, he was undressing in the locker room, top off, bra off, and Paul Bixler was in the women's locker room, and he looked at me, and he looked at my breasts, and I have called the police.
Until recently, he's used the men's locker room, so he agrees himself that he's a man.
I have told the police that I was in the locker room, a man was in there, I was getting undressed, he looked at me, he is a man in the women's locker room, and the response is that this is a touchy, sensitive issue in society.
Yep, there he goes, women's locker room. There's the man going in the women's locker room. Hope there's no one undressing in there. Hope there's no naked women in there. Since there's a man in the, why isn't anyone warning the women?
Just so everyone knows, he's not being arrested. We are at a point where we're catering to society instead of facts. This is alarming. Women's rights are being violated, and I'm not going to put up with it.
But Paul, if you're a female, why do you use the men's restroom sometimes and the women's restroom sometimes?
Please stay away from it, please. Yes, politely, like I said.
He will suffer no consequences for this.
This ideology isn't just in American culture. It has permeated through every Western culture, so much so that now we regularly see insane events like this male figure skater from Finland who is put on the ice as a female figure skater, even though it seems he barely knows how to skate.
Ajatuksen lähteä toteuttamaan lapsuuden haaveita ja alkaa luistella naismoodissa, vaikka syntyperäisin olenkin mies. Ja sieltä on niin kuin 9 vuotta aikaa, eli siihen 9 vuoteen sisältyy aika paljon. Eli kun lähdetään ihan nollasta, niin ihan jo sitä, että pysyy pystyssä 2 jalalla, pysyy pystyssä 1 jalalla ja sen jälkeen rupeaa niin kuin uskaltamaan tehdä jotakin siellä jäällä. Ja sitten alkaa pikkuhiljaa kisaamaan ja esiintymään näytöksissä ja niin edelleen. Että sanotaan, että aika kivaa ura on ollut, mutta tietysti korona tuli vähän sitten väliin, että se sitten sotki kuviota. Mutta eteenpäin mennään ja homma jatkuu.
mahtavaa. Näiden EM-kisojen slogan on "Tule sellaisena kuin olet."
It seems clear that this man was treated as a figure skater purely because of this insane ideology, not because he is actually any good at figure skating. All of these people whom we have seen, Paul Bixler, the new owner of the Miss Universe beauty pageant, Brigid Klyne-Simpson, and this Finnish figure skater, are clearly and obviously men. It's simply an absolute rejection of God and God's design for men and women that leads so many to call and treat these men as women.
Simply stated, there is no such thing as transgender. You're either XX or XY. That's it. God made man male and female. That is determined genetically. That is physiology. That is science. That is reality. This notion that you are something other than your biology is a cultural construct intended as an assault on God.
There is immense pressure in our culture to simply accept people for who they say they are because that's loving and kind. However, it's not at all loving or kind to enable people in rebellious delusion. We speak out against this madness, not because we want to be mean, but because we desire people to know the truth, to repent of their sin, and to come to salvation through faith in Jesus Christ.
I think this has to be dealt with love and compassion, because there's some holes in the heart of someone going in that direction. There's a lack of being loved and accepted and feeling wanted and needed and significant. So on the one hand, the reality of that lie and deception is so damaging, so destructive, so isolating, so corrupting that it needs to be confronted. But on the other hand, that confrontation can't exaggerate what already exists, which is a sense of feeling isolated in relationships. So you've got to find the fine line between confronting the error of it to protect the person and at the same time providing the love and affirmation that that person needs to be all that God would have that person be. Does that help?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claire.
Thank you so much for watching into the end. If you'd like this video, hitting the subscribe button helps this channel reach more people with the truth. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement.